Organism may have a wide range of tolerance for one factor and a narrow range for another. Organism with wide range of tolerance for all factors are mostly widely distributed. When conditions are not optimal for a species with respect to one ecological factor, the limit of tolerance may be reduced with respect to other ecological factor. For example, when soil nitrogen is limiting, the resistance of grass to drought is reduced. Organisms in nature are not actually living at the optimal range with regard to a particular physical factor. In such case, some other factor or factors are found to have greater importance. For example, certain tropical orchid actually grow better in full sunlight than in shade, provided they are kept cool. In nature, they grow only in the shade because they cannot tolerate the heating effect of direct sunlight. The limit of tolerance for reproductive individual, seed, egg, embryos, seedling, and larva are usually narrower than non-reproductive adult plant and animals. Zone of intolerance, তো এখানে একটা গ্রাফ দেখা যাচ্ছে। উপরে হচ্ছে পপুলেশন, নিচে হচ্ছে গ্রেডিয়েন্ট, কর্নারে হচ্ছে লো, আর এখানে হচ্ছে হাই। জোন অফ ইনটলারেন্স প্রথমে অর্গানিজম অ্যাবসেন্ট, তারপরে জোন অফ ফিজিক্যাল স্ট্রেস অর্গানিজম ইন ইনফ্রিকুয়েন্ট। রেঞ্জ অফ অপটিমাল, এটা হচ্ছে গ্রেটেস্ট অ্যাবান্ডেন্স। জোন অফ ফিজিক্যাল স্ট্রেস অর্গানিজম ইনঅ্যাডিকুয়েট। জোন অফ ইনটলারেন্স অর্গানিজম অ্যাবসেন্ট। এখানে অর্গানিজম অ্যাবসেন্ট, এখানে অর্গানিজম অ্যাবসেন্ট, এখানে অর্গানিজম ইনঅ্যাডিকুয়েট বা হলো ইনফ্রিকুয়েন্ট, অর্গানিজম ইনফ্রিকুয়েন্ট, এটা জোন অফ ফিজিক্যাল স্ট্রেস, রেঞ্জ অফ অপটিমাল। ফিগার Shelford law of tolerance, a plot of the number of individuals of a species as a function of some environmental factors such as temperature, produce a bell-shaped curve that can be divided into various tolerance zones. To express the relative degree of tolerance, a series of terms have been used in ecology that utilize the prefix steno, meaning narrow, or uri means wide. Thus, stenothermal, eurythermal refers to temperature. Stenohydric, euryhydric refer to water. Stenohaline, euryhaline refer to salinity. Stenopelagic, eurypelagic refer to food. Stenoecious, Euriceous refer to habitat selection. To describe plants that favor one extreme of an environment gradient, the suffix phile and phob are used. For example, a plant favoring snowy habitat is called cynophyll, and a plant that grow only in wind-blown, snow-free habitat would be called cynophobe. Combined concept of limiting factor. The presence and success of an organism or a group of organisms depend upon a complex of conditions. Any condition which approaches or exceeds the limit of tolerance is called limiting condition or limiting factor. Some limiting factor in biology are food, water availability, temperature, shelter, predation, etc. Stenothermal, এটা হলো অলিগোথার্মাল, অপটিমাল, এটা হলো অ্যাক্টিভিটি, গ্রোথ, এটা হলো টেম্পারেচার, এটা হলো মিনিমাম, অপটিমাম, মিনিমাম ম্যাক্সিমাম, এটা মিনিমাম ম্যাক্সিমাম, এটা হলো স্টেনোথার্মাল, এটা হলো ইউরিথার্মাল, এটা হলো স্টেনোথার্মাল। Figure comparison of relative limit of tolerance of stenothermal and eurythermal organism. Minimum, optimum, and maximum lie close together for stenothermal species, so that a small difference in temperature which might have little effect on a eurythermal species is often critical. Note that stenothermal organism may be either low temperature tolerant, oligothermal, or high temperature tolerant, polythermal. টেম্পারেচার এখানে কম, তো কম যেটা সহ্য করতেছে সেটা হলো স্টেনোথার্মাল, আর যেটা বেশি তাপমাত্রা সহ্য করতেছে সেটা হচ্ছে অলিগোথার্মাল। স্টেনোথার্মাল অথবা অলিগোথার্মাল, আর হাই টেম্পারেচার যেটা সহ্য করতেছে সেটা হচ্ছে পলিথার্মাল। ওটাও স্টেনোথার্মাল কিন্তু ওটা হলো পলিথার্মাল। তো অলিগোথার্মাল আর পলিথার্মাল, এটা স্টেনোথার্মালের দুইটা ভাগ। লিমিটিং ফ্যাক্টর, অ্যাকুয়াটিক এনভায়রনমেন্ট মে হ্যাভ অ্যাডভান্টেজ, water has many properties, and because of that it is a unique kind of environment to live in. Water pressure provide physical support, temperature fluctuation are very limited, which reduce the risk of aquatic animal to become overheated or dry out. The required nutrients are readily available because they are dissolved in water. When toxins enter the water, they are quickly converted to disparate. These are very positive effect of living underwater. However, there are some factors that limit aquatic life. These are follow: abiotic factor, temperature. Temperature influence the activity and growth of organism. Temperature also determine which type of organism can live in a lake. Usually, the higher the water temperature, the greater the activity in the lake. However, all aquatic species have preferred temperature range. If temperature vary too much out of the range, the species will either die or move to another location. Temperature also influence the chemical properties of water. The rate of chemical reaction in the water increase as temperature increase. For example, warm water holds less oxygen than cold water. So even though there is more activity in warm water, there may not be enough oxygen for the activity to continue for long period of time. The water temperature usually falls with water depth because less sunlight will penetrate the water at a greater depth. Most aquatic organisms have a limited range of tolerance of temperature change. This is all they need because temperature are not likely to undergo change beneath the water surface. However, when sudden temperature change do occur it will have a significant effect on performance and survival of aquatic organism. Temperature ranges affect many activities such as migration, hibernation, and other activities. Sunlight can only penetrate the water up to depth about 30 meters below the surface. Thus, most photosynthesis in aquatic environment occur near the surface. This means that most plants cannot grow if they are at the bottom of deep lake. Producers need sunlight to produce oxygen and other required substance that will sustain consumer. Production can only occur in the zone where sunlight can penetrate. Suspended matter may interfere with penetration of sunlight into water. This may decrease the size of zone in which production takes place.